It may seem hard to buy gifts for autistic people. To others, we can appear fussy, ungrateful, or maybe even downright uninterested in the social traditions involving gift giving. Never fear, today I'm going to be showering, yes, showering you with gift ideas for small, medium, and large gifts that will make us very, very happy indeed. So stay tuned. Hi everyone, if you're new to my channel, I am Sam. I was recently diagnosed with autism as an adult and I now make videos about autism on YouTube every single week. If you think you might like that sort of thing, don't forget to hit subscribe to stay up to date with all of my videos. The holidays are a special and stressful time of year, where social obligations peak and autistic people have to navigate not just the tricksy world of present buying and giving, but also the world of present receiving. Now wait a minute, I hear you say.
Isn't present receiving the fun part?
Well, it can be, sure, but it can also be really difficult for autistic people. Not knowing the right thing to say or how to respond can make it really stressful. And worrying about saying the wrong thing can make us appear silent and ungrateful. And of course, as some of us have unique interests and sensory needs, it can make some presents totally unsuitable for us. And we might not be able to stop our disappointment shining through, which can make for a very awkward gift receiving experience. I'm here to help you understand all of our present-related neuroses and how you can give your autistic loved ones a very happy holiday season. Coming up in a few weeks, I will be doing a whole video on the gift receiving and giving process and delving into the psyche of the holiday autist, so stick around for that one if you're interested. Just remember that not all autistic people like Christmas or Hanukkah, and please don't expect a certain reaction from us, because we may not react how you want us to. But seriously, it's always better to check with the person before spending money, especially a large amount of money. Now, I have used my powers of observing, intuition, and systemizing to create this guide, but I am not and have never been Queen of the Autists, so these are just some ideas. Please calm down. Also, I would definitely not suggest getting someone a present and saying sort of like,
I got you this present because you're autistic and this lady on the internet said you like it.
I really don't need an angry mob after me, not after last time. So let's talk about the sensory aspects of Christmas and Hanukkah. I'm gonna say Christmas. So let's talk about the sensory aspects of Christmas. You might have heard of the terms sensory seeker and sensory avoider. Autistic people can be one, the other, or both. Yeah, it's confusing. So I would really recommend you find out which one your lovely autistic person is before you even think about buying them a gift. For the sensory seeker, Christmas can be really magical, so you can easily capitalize on that knowledge. For the sensory avoider, it can be a constant onslaught of music, glitter, and fanfare that drives us underground and into our caves for hibernation. And what if they're both? Well, for example, I'm a visual seeker and an auditory avoider. And I can be a taste, touch, and smell seeker or avoider depending on the circumstances. So for example, I love scented candles, but I am really, really particular about the kind of smells that I like. And I think smells are one of those things where we are really sensitive and particular about it in general. So for example, I would love anything with lavender, fig, or citrus scents, but don't get me anything with jasmine or lily. So sensory seekers might enjoy tactile things like this sequined cushion. These have exploded in popularity recently. They are incredibly nice to caress. Is that the right word? And you can get them in a variety of designs, like this personalized one that my husband bought me last year for my birthday. Now, I don't know exactly what you call them, but these sort of oozy timers, I guess, are very relaxing and soothing. I'm a really big visual stimmer, and I love glittery, sparkly, twinkly things, all that kind of stuff I absolutely love. But these ones are a little bit more contained than something that is just exploding with glitter, right? And these particular ones have a really nice little two-tone sort of effect. Sensory and fidget toys are also really popular among autistic people, and they're also great for stocking stuffers because they're relatively inexpensive. I was a bit skeptical actually when I ordered a little selection for this video, but one of the things I picked up was this rainbow fidget spinner. And the reason I really like this one is because it's metal, so it's nice and heavy. And to be honest, I have not really put this down in the last week. This one is actually really, really great because you can rearrange the order of the colours, and you can remove all of the balls so you can make it wobble as it spins, so I really, really like this one. I literally never thought I could love a tiny little thing this much.
That's what she said.
Now the other toy that I got was this Fidget Cube. It's kind of reminiscent of a Rubik's Cube, but infinitely more fidgetable. I'm one of those people that actually finds it really hard to sit and just watch TV sometimes. I usually am watching telly and on my phone at the same time, and sometimes I even have my laptop open as well. It's pathological, I'm sorry. But with this thing, I can actually find myself just watching telly because my hands have something to do. It's also small enough to put in your pocket, and the fact that it's black and kind of sleek makes it very suitable for important business meetings and the like. It's great. Now you can get fidget toys very, very cheaply, and you can pay a little bit more. The ones I picked were a little bit more expensive because I do think that it's nice to get higher quality items, and high quality fidget toys still aren't exactly expensive. So they are a great gift for this time of year. So for sensory avoiders, especially people with very sensitive hearing, there are a few ear-themed gifts, I guess, that you could consider. Now I personally use these TaoTronics noise-cancelling headphones. These are a decent price level and they work really well for my needs. They're wireless Bluetooth and they also have the active noise cancelling on them. If you're feeling especially flush, you can obviously go up and up and up in price and get the fancy Bose or Sony ones, but I've found these ones work really well because, you know, the more money you spend, the more you love the person, right? Now, Vibes earplugs are also a rather stylish new option on the market. They are reusable and filter sound better than the foam earplugs you can get. They are designed for concert goers, but I've actually found that these kind of earplugs are much, much better when you're in a noisy environment and want to also contribute to the conversation and hear what people are saying. Now, speaking of sensory avoiders and aversions, some autistic people have a real trouble with their food touching. And if you know somebody like this, you can get silicone food dividers that you put on plates and you can have each section of food in a different spot, so you don't have to deal with like sauce going into or contaminating another thing. And I know that 8-year-old me would have definitely approved of this invention. So if you know someone who hates their foods touching, definitely think about this one. Now, if the person is a massive sensory avoider and frequently experiences sensory overload, it might be a really nice idea to get them a voucher for one of these sensory isolation tanks. You can normally find them in big cities or even maybe smallish cities. The one I've linked below is based in London. I don't have time to scour the internet for a sensory isolation tank in your city, but they exist and, you know, they're probably around £40–50 for a session. So the next category of things to think about is soft things. Why do autistic people like soft things so much? It's a mystery, but we do. Hashtag not all autistics. I would recommend asking them if they have any preference for materials. Personally, I really like soft, natural fibres like bamboo or wool, but some people really like microfleece and absolutely can't stand wool. So even if you ask them about their material preferences, you can still keep the actual gift a surprise. Socks are a classic holiday gift in general, I think. I don't think you need someone on the internet to tell you to buy socks for Christmas. But seamless bamboo socks can be really great for people who are very itchy with seams and sort of that. Or just funky patterned socks in general. My favourite socks come from a brand called Thought Clothing, and they just have a variety of really fun patterned socks. These ones have unicorns on them. And they're super, super soft and bamboo, so it's sustainable, that kind of thing. Other warm and soft things that we might appreciate would be like snuggly blankets, cozy onesies or dressing gowns. But obviously all of that depends on your price point and their preferences for specific materials. So the next category is therapeutic things. Many autistic people have comorbid health conditions, which means that while autism might be a neurological condition, we often have a lot more things going on with our bodies. If you know someone who loves deep pressure and would love to get a massage every week if they could afford it, really consider this robot massage slave thing. What's it called?
Shiatsu, neck, shoulder massager, electric back massage with heat, deep kneading tissue massage for muscles, pain relief, relaxing, car, home and office.
Geez, no wonder I couldn't remember. But honestly, there's not many things that have changed my life, but this thing has been life-changing. I get frequent knots in my back and like back cramps and aches and pains during my period and stuff like this. And you can just position it anywhere. You can use it on your neck like this. You can use it on your knots here. You can use it on your back. You can put it on your feet. Oh my gosh, I have used this thing so much. I got it about 6 months ago and I've recommended it to so many people. It's just amazing. I literally tell everybody I know to get one of these. Another therapeutic style item that you might get if you really, really love the person is a weighted blanket. Now these are extremely sought after by autistic people, and for a good reason, because they're typically too expensive for us to just buy outright ourselves. Luckily, there are cheaper versions out there now. There is a company called Chewigem who has just released a version starting from £40, and there's obviously handmade versions and fancy versions, and they go up and up in price. You can buy a weighted blanket for £500 if you really want to. I want this for Christmas. I want it really badly. They are supposed to aid relaxation and help with anxiety and just promote a general feeling of well-being. The pressure from the weight actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So it sounds a bit hokey and woo, but it is actually really nice apparently. The general guide for what weight to buy is 10% plus 1 or 2 pounds or half to 1 kilo. I mean, until I get a weighted blanket, I do have 2 cats that weigh 7 kilos in total, so I just need to convince them to lie on me all spread out. I guess the therapeutic effect would be the same. So next category is practical things. Now autistic people probably like practical things way more than the average person, I think. And being practical can be very hard for us, so any help with that is actually quite welcome. Now I have been using a sort of bullet journal-ish style system for the last year, but they stopped doing the model that I wanted. And it's a lot of work to do a bullet journal system on a weekly basis. So while looking for planners for people with ADHD and executive functioning issues, I came across this planner, which is called the Clever Fox Planner. This comes off. Does it? It does. This is a dateless planner, which means that you fill it in as you go along, which is great for me because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I miss a couple of weeks if I have a bad few weeks, and then I feel annoyed that I have these blank pages and it's a waste. So you can just fill these in as you go along every single week. I really like that it has clear sections for your goals, your monthly plan, and your weekly plan. It also has a little bit on gratitude, your priorities, building up habits and skills. I just find it a really clear, thoughtful planner, and it's really nice quality, so I'm going to be using this for 2020. Now, I know a lot of people don't like giving money as gifts, but a lot of autistic people really want things exactly their way, and so if you think that you've got somebody who just never likes presents that you give, money is obviously a very safe option. If you really want to wrap it up all fancy, you can get them Amazon vouchers. They come in a variety of cute little tins, so it's like you're still giving them something. And that way they can also choose fun things for themselves that they wouldn't necessarily justify buying for themselves. And I don't want to get too somber about this, but autistic people are hugely underemployed, and so money and vouchers can be really helpful this time of year. If you do like giving more intangible gifts because you don't want to clutter up their house or you're concerned about the environment, consider other kinds of vouchers like credits for babysitting or help with cooking or cleaning, a subscription to a meal plan club, or maybe even just a homemade voucher that allows the person to redeem it and everyone will go away and leave them alone for a day. I think autistic people do appreciate stuff like this, and because we're not typically motivated by showing off the status of our gifts, we truly appreciate these gifts for what they are. Now, the last category of gifts that I want to suggest is something related to our special interests. Autistic special interests have a reputation for being, you know, pathological, and mostly to do with trains or whatever, but autistic people can get passionate about any topic whatsoever. My special interests have ranged from TV shows like Buffy, to dressmaking, to nutrition science and psychology. I even went through a phase where I was obsessed with making my own cosmetics. This is definitely an area where you need to be up to date with what their current special interests, so you definitely need to talk to them before you get anything on this one. But like, text, don't call. Now actually a lot of autistic people do have autism as a special interest. I guess that's me as well. And there are more and more books out there that are pretty decent and actually written by autistic people or by people who really understand it. I can really recommend NeuroTribes by Steve Silberman. This is not a light read, it is extremely dense, but it is very good. It's basically an in-depth look of how our understanding of autism has evolved, a little bit about the history, and basically if you've got someone who really enjoys diving into a topic deeply, this book is great. And if you're looking for a book from a female autistic perspective, this book here is called The Electricity of Every Living Thing, and it is sort of like more of a memoir style. It's by Catherine May. So I haven't actually finished reading this one yet, but I have started it and it is good. Now I definitely do want to do more book reviews on this channel in general. I need to read some books. So I guess I will see you in 2025 by the time I've actually had time to read any of these books. Now, if your autistic loved one is a reader and they do have a Kindle, you might want to consider something like a Kindle Unlimited membership. You do get a month or so free trial when you sign up, and for a small monthly fee, you can get unlimited amounts of books. So if you know someone who's really into reading, that would be a perfect present. And if you know someone who really has a lot of creative special interests, they enjoy doing crafty things, then why not look into getting them a Skillshare membership? Skillshare has a huge amount of resources for learning creative things, even lifestyle and business related things. But basically, you look for a course on something, it's going to be on Skillshare. There are resources for almost every creative outlet you can imagine doing, like drawing or writing, crafting, photography, that sort of thing. So if you know someone who really enjoys new creative hobbies, then this will be a really great present to get them. And you can get 2 months free membership to try it out if you sign up with the link down below. Speaking of crafts, a lot of autistic people do like crafts because I guess a lot of them are sort of like fidget things, something to do with your hands. But they can obviously be very expensive hobbies. So for example, if you know a knitter, they might appreciate really high quality yarn for knitting projects, or anything else that they wouldn't typically treat themselves to on a regular basis. Something that's quite universal and quite a nice little stocking stuffer are these glitter pens, which are extremely stimmy. They are so glittery and the paint just goes on paper really, really nicely. And of course, if you get them a planner, you can get them some nice gel or paint pens to go with that. And that's a really nice way of kind of like being crafty and decorating that. I personally have been using these in my planner and I absolutely love them, but I have already promised to give them to somebody else. Because I didn't think I'd love them this much, so bye. Now just to reiterate doubly on what I mentioned at the beginning, some autistic people really don't like getting presents. They don't see the point in it. That's just like some neurotypical people. And if they say they don't want anything, really, really trust them on this. You know, I'm sure everyone would appreciate a handmade card or something like that. You don't have to spend money. I know I've given you a whole bunch of ideas. You don't have to spend any money. If you are really insistent that you want to get them something, obviously gift vouchers are the safest thing and they're less likely to be thrown back in your face, honestly. I hope you enjoyed this selection of gift ideas. I hope I didn't offend anyone with my festive jollity and proclamations about autistic people. You can't make everybody happy. And I hope that this just makes shopping at this time of year a teensy bit more bearable. We can do it all online these days and just get it all sent out, and then we can hide in our little caves with our twinkly lights wrapped in our soft blankets and make it through until 2020. If you're autistic yourself and you feel that this speaks to you on some sort of deep and meaningful level, please feel free to share this with your family and friends, send them annotated copy or whatever. And many thanks to Helen for lending me this beautiful jumper. Take care everyone and see you next time.